Hi everyone, welcome to Savi channel. The subject is Python application programming, professional elective, 18 EC 646 online video tutorials. So today we are going to deal with the Python application programming, module 1, introduction to the Python. So what is the Python? What is its application? And where exactly we can use the Python applications and how it is useful for the career, that we'll see. This particular PPT is designed in the curriculum of VTU. So Python overview. So basically we could have seen nowadays in all the domains in the companies, they are switching over to the Python applications. Okay, Python programming. So if you see in the world, there will be a percentage of utilization of codings. So at presently, the Python plays a 26.7 percentage in the world. Java is around 22.6 percentage. C is around 7.37. C sharp is 9.6 or 4. C++ is 9.9. So based on the percentage, you can see that by 2016 survey, most of the companies, most of the applications, or most of the domains, they started to use a Python coding. Okay, so in the first position in 2021, according to my survey, JavaScripting plays a first place, Python placed in a second, third it will be HTML, and fourth will be CSS, Java, SQL, so like that. Okay, so you can understand the importance of Python in the world now. So according to the job trend now, the highest ranking, the highest payer in the world is Python coder or a developer. Okay, so it is in dollars, $119, $119,000 will be paid, highest paid. The second paid will be JavaScript. The rank by volume of job opening. Okay, so it's around 50,000. Okay, 50,000 people they are hiring in the companies. So you can understand what is the importance of now Python. So here I have divided the Python into or languages into two categories: difficult languages and easy languages. So if you have a threshold here, so easy language categories comes under like HTML, Python coding, JavaScript, C and Java. Whereas above the threshold, we have C++, LISP, Haskell, Prolog and Malblog. So these are all the other languages or a difficult language. It will be used in the different companies, okay, based on their applications. So move on to the next. What is scripting language? Where exactly the scripting languages are used? What is meant by scripting language? So let's see the first point. A scripting language is a wrapper language that integrates OS functions. Means based on the OS functions, you are going to have a scripting languages which is wrapped based on your requirement. To run these wrapped or scripting languages, the interpreter is the layer of software logic. Okay, the interpreter is a layer of software logic between your code and a computer. So here we have to remember that if you go for scripting language, interpreter plays a vital role. It's a mediator. It's a mediator between your code and your computer hardware or a machine, whatever you are using. Okay, so I hope you understood. Scripting language is a wrapper language that integrates OS functions. Okay, and to operate these things, we need a interpreter, is a layer which is a mediator between your code and your computer hardware. So I have collected some of the parameters or points from the wiki or Google. The program has an executable form because all the programs like your C or C++ or Java, whatever you take it, it's has an executable form that computer has to execute. That computer has to execute, and also we called as instructions, or also we can call that as a task, or also we can call it that as a command. Okay, so based on this, your program will be executed, and the same program can be readable by the user, Okay, so and the user can execute the code through the compilation form, Okay, so I hope you will remember this key points. And coming to the Python now, Python is a scripting language. Okay, Python is a scripting language, fast and dynamic. Comparatively, if you take it C, C++, Java and other languages, okay, Python has a highest priority because it has features like it can respond very faster, and it can be a dynamic. Dynamic is nothing but like it can be in the form of real time. Okay. So Python is called scripting language because of its scalable interpreter. Scalable here nothing but optimization. Okay, optimize the interpreter means in short scale, it's short of a time, it can get outputs, it can interact with the interpreter. Okay, so this is how the Python plays a highest priority. Why? Because it is a fast and a dynamic, and it can be a scalable. It is because of scalability. Okay, so if you take your C coding, we have to do a lot of stuffs over there. A lot of command has to be executed. Hash include stdio.h, void main, then open the square bracket, there print f. Okay, and within the printf we are going to give a data. Okay, so after data you have to close the bracket, then you have to save it, compile it, then you run it. So much procedure is there in your other languages like C, C++ and Java. But whereas in Python, it's very easy for us. In an interpreter itself, we can print the data however we require, how much of we require, how many times we require, we can execute and we see the results. In a simple way, we can call it Python is like an English language. Python can be called as an English language. So what is Python now? As I gave an introduction in the previous slide, it is a high-level programming language. Which is having some features, key points. What is the key points are? Interpreted. Okay. Python is proceed as at runtime by the interpreter. As I told, the drawback of C. While executing your program, a lot of stuff, a lot of procedures you have to follow. Whereas in Python, directly you can print your data on a cell. Okay. And second one is interactive. Okay. You can use a Python prompt and interact with the interpreter directly. As I told, like interpreter cell if you open or a terminal if you open, there itself you can code it. And you can check the result. That is how the interactive mode comes in the Python. And third is object oriented. The Python supports object oriented technique for the programming. Okay, as we know that C++ comes under this category. And the beginner's language. So sometimes you could have seen in the some of the textbooks or in the website like we should have a prerequisite for the Python coding. So according to my knowledge, I should not have a much more idea about a prerequisite. Just if you know the English languages and if you go the stuffs of a Python, it's very easy. Any zero coder, okay, can learn Python very easily. But only thing is that we should remember where and all the steps we have to use, where and all the commands we have to print. So if you know that much, you can execute the Python coding very, very easy. So interpreter versus compiler. The next topic is interpreter versus compiler. So as I told, I gave an example for the compiler also. The best example is your C language. So what you do in your C language, you are going to open a file where you are going to type your whole program, save it as an extension .c. Okay. After saving the program, you are going to have a compilation option. You are going to click on the compilation option. Okay. So in the compilation option, what happens? It will try to check some of the syntax error, warnings, or indentations, anything is there. That and all it is going to check. And if it is leads to the zero warning and zero error, then you will give a option of run, so that when you run your program, the executable file, whatever it is there, it will start to execute and it will give a output. So you can see the procedure. If I what I told, it was a lot of tedious job. Okay, whereas in interpreter, it's very easy. Just open the terminal, okay, of a Python and try to put your stuff or a commands or a task to be done by the interpreter, and you will get a result very, very easily. So this is the PPT which I have prepared, and a procedure whatever I have told, same thing I have put up here. You can go through this one. Okay, I hope you remember this in future, the difference between your interpreter and a compiler. Okay, so the interpreter where it is interactive, more interactive for the user, whereas in compiler it's very difficult to interact with the whatever the developer or a coder for coding. Okay, the next topic is like Python features. What are all the features provided by the Python people or for the coding purpose? Easy to learn, as I told, easy to read and easy to maintain. As I told, easy to learn, easy to read and easy to maintain. Portable, as we know that it can run on various hardware platforms. So like example, your desktop, maybe your laptop. And nowadays, most of the Python coding, they are running with a Raspberry Pi for many applications like IoTs and machine learning applications or computer vision applications. So there and all, we are going to have a Python code, and you can get a nice results over there. So all the platform, whatever the operating systems also, if you talk, okay, I can run in Windows, I can run in a Unix, I can run in a Ubuntu, or I can run in a Mac, iOS. Any platforms, if you take any hardware, if you take it, is very easily we can run a Python code. Extendable. The third one point is extendable. As I told, you can have add-ons for your Python interpreter. You can have add-ons. That is means extension of your Python. If you go into the website of Python, you can see the all the documents, libraries required for the Python, and downloadable with the different versions. You can have your Python interpreter into your laptop, or it may be on your desktop. Scalable. The fourth is scalable. Yeah, as I discussed in the previous um, uh, slides, you can have your Python with a good structured. It's like a structured form and supports for larger programs. Okay, and the next point says that it is more interactive. As I told, 100% that the Python supports with the interactive mode, where you can have all type of codes, you can run it, and you can bug in the interactive mode. And the next point says that Python have a broad standard libraries. As I can tell you that the whole Python base is libraries. So without libraries, you can't run your Python. Library is a collection of functions. Library is a collection of functions which you have to pre-install, and whenever you require, wherever you require, you can call that library and you can do a wonders with the programs. Okay. I can, in coming videos, I'll show you how to install a libraries into your Python um, um, terminal. And the last point says that everything in Python is an object. Everything in the Python is an object. It's like your variables, function, even code. Every object has its own ID, types, and values. So let me take example here. X is equal to 36, ID of X. Okay. So you can get an ID of that particular X value will be this much. Type of X, because 36 is an integer number, we have a built-in function like type of X. If you pass it, it will show me the output in the form of integer. Okay, so these are all the features of Python. And continuation of previous slide, you can see here Python provide interface to all major commercial database like your SQL and your Oracle. These are all the database management system or a software which Python can interact with that, and it can store the lot of data over there. And next point says that it supports OOPS structure. As I told in the previous slide itself, it can support with the OOPS. Python provide high level dynamic data types. As I told, data types may be your integer type, or it may be float, or it may be your string. Okay, the data may also comes in the form of images, like your machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning. Okay, it also comes with videos sometimes. Okay, so this is how dynamically the Python supports for a lot of data types. You can provide a lot of data, maybe on a static wise or maybe in a dynamic wise. The Python supports GUI applications. Nowadays, you can see that most of the websites are designed with the Python code. We call it as Django technology or Django stuff. Okay, Django is a stuff which we can use it to design the websites, which we can use it for the design of a websites. Python supports automatic garbage collections. As we know that a lot of data will be collected, a lot of temporary space or temporary data will be assigned. So it may run up with your or dry up your memory of a laptop, or it may be your desktop, or it may be your any hardware you're using. Okay, so Python supports automatic garbage collection, which dumps the unwanted thing into the dustbin. Okay, and the last point here, Python can be easily integrated with the C, C++, and Java. Python not only supports its own platform, and also it supports the platform like C, C++, Java, and even a MATLAB. for many application. Okay, so such way the major applications or features of Python plays a vital role, and you can see a lot of applications or on this particular features. As I told, the Python applications like your robotics nowadays, they are using in a robotic designs. They are also using in machine learning, artificial intelligence, then IoT technologies. So most at present technologies, if you take it, everywhere the Python plays a vital role. So as I told, why Python? It can be a easy read, easy to maintain, portable, broad standard libraries had up to 21K libraries are there. 21,000 libraries are there, which will help you to call that libraries and compute your task. Okay, it's like a complex computational algorithms you can execute with the Python coding with the help of libraries. High level programming, very interactive database interface, and GUI programming. As I told, Django is where nowadays a lot of web developers they are using, and we'll have two options over there where you can have your code manually, you can write it, or else you can just drag and drop and you can finish off your website designs. So the history of your Python, if you talk, it started in 1980s by Guido van Rossum. Okay, so he was the first person who started with Python, but in he has published his first version of Python code in 0.90 in 1991 February in CWI in the Netherlands. Then onwards, many people started to use, and Python is derived from ABC programming language. That is a very important point you have to remember. It is being derived from the ABC programming language. So then onwards, many development happened in the Python, and they started to use in all the fields. So this is the history of your Python. So coming to the Python versions, as I told, you can download your different types of versions of Python into your laptop, or it may be in your desktop. So Python 1.0 started in 1994, 1.5, 1.6 in 1997 and 2000, and Python 2.0 from October 16, 2000 onwards. We have a lot of versions you can download from a website. Most of the applications you can run with a 2.7 Python version, where a lot of computer vision oriented or robotics oriented programming can be done. So presently, from 2008 up to 2021, if you take it, we have a third version of Python with a lot of libraries is being added. Why the Python versions are very important means lot of libraries they are keeping adding to the versions, so that it can be helpful for the developers to use that or import that one into their laptop, or it may be the workstations, whoever they are using, and they can start working on it. So you can see that Python 1.0 onwards to up to 3.0, and recently 4 also it is going to release. Maybe we are waiting that how many type of dependency libraries will be added with machine learning, or it may be deep learning, or it may be like artificial intelligence libraries. So I hope you got a lot of ideas with the Python, and you could have understand what is the difference between C, C++, and Python, and why it is called as a scripting language, and what are all the importance of libraries are required for the Python coding, and what are the features also we have saw. At the last, we have saw in this video Python version. So in the coming class or in the video, I'm going to show you how to download the Python from the Python website and installation. Thank you very much for watching this video.